we're back for another deck walkthrough. I have not fully walked through this deck. I did look at a few cards. I ordered the expansion, and I wanted to wait until I got the expansion to go through it, but I'll add that to it, or I'll do a different walkthrough when I get the expansion. But this is the Southern Gothic Oracle. I've seen this on some other people's channels, and I really enjoyed watching them use this deck. I connected with it. I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that. You connect with the deck watching someone else use it, but I did. It's by Stacey Williams NG. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's literally Stacey Williams -NG. And it comes with the beautiful little guidebook. I have like kind of read through the guidebook a little bit. Most times when I read through the guidebook, it's not so much just to learn the cards, it's to learn the history of why they chose the card. Like, what history does that card have? Like, what's the symbolic reason? And I learn a lot more when I do that. But it also allows me to, it piques my intuition as well. And I can pull more meaning from the card. But Stacey is a multidisciplinary artist born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee. So she's a Southern girl. I'm a Southern girl. I was born up north, but I was raised down south the majority of my life. So I was attracted to this deck when I saw someone using it, and I'll let you know what cards drew me in as we go through it. But it says here, with hand-painted illustrations and evocative prompts, the Southern Gothic Oracle is a must-have tool for readers interested in delving deep into regional folklore. This 46-card Oracle deck enhances personal intuition by presenting objects and symbols rooted in the various spiritual belief systems prevalent in the American South. Okay, that makes sense. A potent mix of Ozark, folkways, Appalachian wisdom, biblical scripture, root work, Celtic traditions, and hoodoo. Right. Yeah. And I think that's what drew me, because it had a mix of everything. Like, I read up on Appalachian wisdom. I'm very into the Appalachian wisdom. I grew up, Baptist, so I have biblical knowledge as well. Everyone has heard of root work. Hoodoo is my fave. So, but let's see. And it's off Etsy. She's on Etsy. I believe she has a website. I think. I don't know. But I ordered off Etsy. And I kept in touch with her because when I went to order it, she didn't have any. And so when she got it in, she was like, I have some decks in. And they were 20% off. And I love a good deal. So I think I paid, $40-something for this deck. Well worth it, in my opinion. And the shipping was very fast and came in a beautiful, beautiful packaging. One thing about me, guys, is when I order something, I do pay attention to packaging. Your packaging, the way you package something, says so much about you. Yeah, so, but anyways, so let's go ahead. So the first card is the Hurricane Lamp. I think my puppy is going to get in her bed. She was laying beside me. Where you going, girl? Where you going? You need to go outside? Okay. Hold on, guys. Okay. I had to let the kiddo know to come take the puppy out. But Hurricane Lamp. So a lot can be said. I mean, you see the keywords, but I'm sure that you can pull so much from your own intuition from this card, right? And then we have a pair of shoes. Let's see what we have here. And we have the salamander. Blackberries. There was a song out. It was called Blackberry Molasses. I'm sure some of you've heard of it. And I haven't heard that song in a while, but it was called, the name of the song was Blackberry Molasses, which I'm sure it had so much more meaning to it than because of the title. But I thought about that when I saw the blackberries. Wild, growing, they grow wherever. They don't need catering to, they just do whatever they want to do. Very independent. We had the raccoon. I'm going to find me a deck buddy. And what I mean by deck buddy is somebody that I can, but I think I have one. I think Indigenous Rican Brewer is like my deck buddy. Basically, what I mean is she literally puts me onto a lot of decks. So, and even if she don't put me onto the deck, she puts me in the path to the deck that I need to connect with, if that makes sense. So if you don't follow her, definitely follow her. Dogwood Blossoms. If you're into like learning about decks, she loves the art in decks, and I do too. When I first started collecting decks, I really didn't have there wasn't a connection. I didn't discover a connection until mid last year. And so I went through a lot of decks that I purchased and was like, I am not connected to this deck. Some decks, I kept and I am connected to them. I don't use them as much. But when I do go and purchase decks now, it's more to the deck than just than just me having a deck. But anyways, we have the abandoned plantation. The painter. I don't know why I thought that said the panther. And I had to look at it like twice. I was like, is that supposed to say that? But that's what it says. Matter of fact, let me look at the book because... You back, baby girl? Sit down. Because you're going to knock something down, okay? Yeah, it's called the painter. So it says, in Appalachia, mountain lions or cougar were often referred to as painters, probably a mispronunciation of the word panther. Okay. These animals were fierce and majestic hunters who struck fear and awe in the hill folk, who were inspired by the animal's strength. They were officially declared extirpated in the early 1900s due to habitat loss and hunting. But every family in Appalachia claims to have seen one or two. Okay. I mean, you got people who still see those. So that makes sense. People couldn't pronounce panther, so... Or, it's not that they couldn't pronounce it. The dialect allowed it to be, it was said differently than most people. So, but yeah. The painter. And we have the blessed child. We all have seen this once or twice in our lives. Conch shell. I was just telling my best friend that a young lady I knew some years ago would go to Miami and visit her family, and one of the dishes that they would eat was conch salad. And I remember her describing it to me, but it wasn't something that I was interested in at that time. But it just came back to me tonight for some reason. The crystal grotto. I don't know what that means. I would really have to look at the book, but it says energy and cosmos. So it looks like they're in a cave, or there's a cave and it's full of crystals. So if I'm sure but there are certain areas on the earth where people go and literally, dig for their own crystals. There are certain you like that vanilla smell, mommy? Yeah, I do too. You're gonna burn your nose. Now if you burn your nose, you're gonna sit down. Yeah, I know. The peacock. You got company. Somebody out there waiting on you. There's the peacock. And then we have the nest of wasp. Teamwork, order. Okay. I don't know why I was thinking of hornets. Hornets are the ones that cause the problems. And we got axe. What? What you need? You need something? Uh-oh, you see company? You see my son. Axe. The copperhead. This is a snake that's known in the South. The Crow. I've learned a lot, and I'm gonna do a deck review on a deck I have called the Urban Crow. Where is it? The Urban Crow Oracle. I'm gonna do a review on that deck next because I learned so much about crows just from reading the guidebook of that deck. Crows are very intelligent creatures. Um, I enjoy learning what I learned from reading the guidebook on that in that deck. So I'm gonna have to definitely do a deck review with that deck. We have Roots, Blue Moon, Cowrie Shells. Love wearing these. They have a lot of meaning to me for some reason. We have the Crossroads. I like this card for the Crossroads. The depiction, this the roads, the stop sign, the far out of the night sky. A lot you can get from that one card. Instrument. The Grove. The Cicada. Yes, we had, yeah, they are, these things are like, I think this was one of the cards. Remember I said when I started, I said I'm going to show you when I come to the card, which cards drew me to the deck. This was one of them, the Mason jar. And I think the reason is because my great grandmother, who's actually on my altar, she used to can a lot of vegetables and fruits, and but she also would use mason jars when she made sweet tea and stuff like that. So the mason jars hold a lot of memory for me. And it's funny that the cards mean mentorship and protection because my grandmother was literally my mentor, and she in the spiritual realm is still my protector. She's my ancestor. The Bayou. I'm not from Louisiana, but I love to read books, movies. I feel like a lot of there's so much stuff rooted there that you can learn. Just the meaning of this card, emotions and manifestation, says a lot. Like that, those two words, I mean, they say a lot about the bayou, but there's so much more to the bayou. But just those two words by itself can really pique your intuition, like, ooh, Yeah, I have a lot of tattoos. I'm not done yet, though. I'm a tatted up girl. Mojo bag. Black coffee, which is something that I don't drink black coffee, but I do love coffee. Vanity set. I really do recommend this deck. The imagery, it allows you, like I said, it's a lot. So we got the bottle tree, kudzu, the opossum. So yes, I live in the rural area in South Carolina, so I do see a lot of these at night. Not the prettiest of creatures, but they do what they do. The Psalm book, book of spells. I have Psalm 91 is what I have my Bible turned to on a constant basis. That the Psalms is definitely something to take into consideration. Black Eyed Peas is another card that pulled me in with this deck. Wealth and prosperity, which is exactly why we cook it on the New Year day of the year. Black culture, African American culture. I'm sure other cultures do too. I can only speak for mine, but I do it too. So, but it's for prosperity and wealth. So that card resonated a lot. The pine cone. I actually want to get these and put it on my altar. I don't know why, but now it makes sense because look at the keywords: third eye and new perspective. The horseshoe, which always meant luck. Black walnut, discernment and self-worth. Like this deck is just, how can you not connect to this deck? Wild violet, especially if you're somebody who's in the South, or you may not have grown up in the South, but maybe you have family down the South that you visited, or you have family, even though you grew up North, your family migrated to the North from the South. They still have a lot of that stuff instilled in them. The peach, fertility and love, which I love peaches. Love to make peach cobbler. The mockingbird, prophecies and communication. Yes. Live oak, strong, one of the longest living trees. So it makes sense that this is longevity and reliability. Altar water. This should be a reminder to change your altar water. For those who, I change mine weekly. I probably need to do it every other day. Sometimes I'll be looking like I need to change you. The dog, loyalty, belonging. As you see my dog here, laying on by my side. The alligator. Armadillo basket. Sassafras. And the last card that drew me in was cornbread. So yeah, this deck I would recommend 5 out of 5. Beautiful deck. Guidebook is small but full of knowledge, as you've seen. I have not read through it yet. I started to, but I was at work, so I couldn't really focus. But a lot of my decks, I read through. I get a lot of knowledge just from reading through the guidebook. It lets me know what prompted that person to, or what inspired them. Especially indie decks. Not nothing against mass, produced decks, but indie decks, most people there's a reason that they were inspired, and I love to read what inspired them. So yeah, Southern Gothic Oracle. So yeah, guys, check her out on Etsy. Her name is, I think it actually is called the Southern Gothic Oracle on Etsy. She has a botanic oracle as well, which you probably would think I would get, being that I love plants. But I wasn't drawn to that one as yet. I looked at it a few times, but it just wasn't pulling on my heartstrings. So, but anyways, thank you guys for coming through for the deck walkthrough. And see you in a little bit for another one. Stay safe.